The air was thick with wood smoke, and the sounds of hammers echoed in the valley. But for 12-year-old Bayou, the daily sounds of the village were a dull roar. His world was mostly quiet. Since a childhood illness left him unable to walk, Bayou had spent most of his time alone in his small hut, watching other kids run and play while he moved around on a wooden board with wheels. It wasn't a wheelchair, just a crudely made seat on wheels that his father had built for him out of an oil drum and some scrap metal. But it was enough. For now, it gave him freedom of movement within the boundaries of their small village. He could go fishing by the lake, roll down to the marketplace, or hang out at the local mechanic shop, all the while listening intently to the men talk about engines and gears. Bayou was not the type to pity himself. He knew he had it better than many. Most days he'd rather stay outside than inside the stuffy hut with its dirt floor and thatched roof. But sometimes, when the midday sun beat down mercilessly and mosquitoes buzzed around him, he wished for something better. Something like a real wheelchair. He knew there was a school for special needs kids in the city, about 12 miles away. There he would have a chance at a normal life, maybe even be able to walk again. But his parents were too poor to send him. And besides, there was no guarantee that the school could help him. Plus, the journey to the city was fraught with danger, bumpy roads, unpredictable drivers, and the possibility of never returning home at all. Still, he dreamed of going to school in the city, dreaming of one day being able to walk again. But the reality was that his life revolved around their small village. So he spent his days doing what he could, helping his parents with chores around the house, collecting firewood, fishing, and spending most of his free time at the mechanic shop. There he listened, observed, and learned. It didn't take long for the mechanics to notice the bright kid with a sharp mind and a thirst for knowledge. They'd often let him help out, giving him simple tasks that grew more challenging as time passed. Some of the mechanics even started leaving broken tools and unusable engine parts out front, knowing that Bayou would come by and see if he could fix them. And fix them he did. The boy tinkered with discarded tools and broken machines, salvaging what he could and figuring out the rest. He used a broken lawnmower to design a new type of tiller for his family's vegetable garden. He created a crab trap out of a discarded car muffler and some chicken wire. And when his sister was born, he designed a cradle for her out of an old tire. In fact, it was this last project that became a turning point in Bayou's life. He'd been rum family in the market when he saw an ad for baby products. The picture showed a mother cradling her child in a modern-looking stroller. From that moment, Bayou decided that he wanted to build something similar for his little sister. Of course, he didn't have the money for a new stroller, but that didn't stop him. He collected several discarded car tires, inner tubes, springs, and other pieces of scrap metal. Then he took these items to the junkyard where he scavenged for more parts. To make his vision a reality, he needed to find a solid frame to support the seat and wheels. After scouring the junkyard for suitable materials, he settled on an old tricycle his son had abandoned. Carefully, he disassembled the tricycle, stripped it of paint and rust, then used it as the foundation for his stroller. The next part was the most complicated, putting everything together in a way that was both sturdy and comfortable for the baby. Bayou spent weeks on this project, eating, sleeping, and dreaming about strollers. Finally, he finished his creation, a customized stroller made of recycled materials, complete with a soft cushion and a protective canopy. When his parents saw it, they were overjoyed. They couldn't believe what their son had made with just scrap material, and when Bayou's sister was placed inside, it felt like a miracle. Now she could ride comfortably on the soft cushion, and the canopy protected her from the sun and the rain. Bayou beamed with pride. His first invention was a success, but that was just the beginning. Other villagers noticed his talent and started asking for things to be fixed or even custom-made. A farmer needed a new irrigation system for his crops. An old man needed help getting in and out of bed. A young mother needed a better way to carry her water. Bayou took on each challenge with enthusiasm, using whatever materials he had on hand. For instance, he built a device to help a farmer water his crops by attaching a motor to a water pump and creating a pulley system to move it up and down. He designed a special lever for the elderly man, allowing him to get in and out of bed more easily. And for the mother, he made a backpack with a pulley system that helped distribute the weight of water more evenly on her back. Each project taught Bayou more about mechanics, engineering, and most importantly, about himself. He loved solving problems and making people's lives easier. And he was good at it. News of his talents spread beyond their village, attracting the attention of people from neighboring communities. Bayou found himself working on more and more complex projects, such as building a water tower for a school or designing a new type of plow for the farmers. As he worked, he continued to learn, reading books about engineering and experimenting with new materials. One day, someone from the city brought Bayou an old phone that didn't work. The person told him to fix it and bring it back the next day. Not knowing much about electronics, Bayou took the phone apart, looked at the circuit board, and put it back together. Surprisingly, it worked. This sparked his interest in electronics. Bayou started visiting the city more often, buying old, broken phones and other electronic devices. He would repair them and use them to teach other disabled children in the village. He also began taking apart machines to understand how they worked, often using their parts to create new inventions. His reputation grew, drawing the attention of engineers and inventors from other parts of the country. These people became his mentors, guiding him in his studies and encouraging him to pursue higher education. Thanks to their support and his dedication, Bayou earned a scholarship to study at a top engineering university. When he arrived at the campus, everyone was stunned. The boy who once rolled on scraps was now rolling into the lab on his own inventions. At the university, his talent and innovative ideas quickly made him stand out. He didn't just excel in his studies, but he also attracted international attention. A documentary filmmaker captured his story, showing the world the incredible journey of the boy who refused to be limited by his condition. Suddenly, the boy who had spent most of his life in a remote village was at the center of the global spotlight. And through it all, Bayou remained the humble, determined boy he always was. He used his newfound platform to advocate for other disabled people, traveling to different countries to share his story and teach others about engineering and technology. He also continued his advocacy work, helping to build schools and clinics in his village and providing financial aid to those less fortunate than him. To think that all of this started with a simple desire to build a better life for himself and others. Despite the odds stacked against him, Bayou never gave up. His story serves as an inspiration to us all, proving that with determination, creativity, and a little bit of scrap metal, we can achieve extraordinary things.